Hello and welcome to the fourth lecture of section 2, IAM Roles Overview and how to create a role. For a beginner's course, you simply need an introduction of roles because to understand it fully, you should be familiar with other core services like EC2, S3, etc. So don't worry in case you don't understand it fully. Gradually it will start making sense as you progress through the course. IAM Roles. An IAM role is similar to a user in that it is an AWS identity with permission policies that determine what the identity can and cannot do in AWS. A role does not have any credential, password, or access keys associated with it. Instead of being uniquely associated with one person, a role is intended to be assumable by anyone who needs it. An IAM user can assume a role to temporarily take on different permissions for a specific task. You can use roles to delegate access to users, applications, or services that don't normally have access to your AWS resources. When to create an IAM role instead of a user? Let us see. You have an application that runs on an Amazon EC2 instance, and that application makes requests to AWS. So EC2 instance is a virtual server. Amazon calls it as EC2 instance or simply instance. Create an IAM role that you attach to the EC2 instance to give applications running on the instance temporary security credentials. Suppose your EC2 instance wants to access read-write files from your simple storage service, that is S3. S3 have buckets or folders in plain English. So if you want to give your EC2 access to those buckets, you need to go ahead with IAM roles. We will see this in the demo. And next example would be you have an app that runs on a mobile phone and that makes requests to AWS. Then don't create an IAM user and distribute the user access key with the app, but go for an identity provider like login with Amazon Cognito, Facebook, or Google to authenticate users and map the user to an IAM role. So basically it will be used in mobile apps as well. Now we'll see how to create an IAM role. Let us create a role that allows an EC2 instance, that is a virtual server, to have a full access to our Amazon S3 service. S3 is simple storage service. So basically it should be called Amazon S3 because service is already there. So let us see a screenshot demo. Log into AWS console, and inside IAM dashboard you will find roles. Click roles and go to create role. Click this create role button and then choose the service that will use this role. So here we will choose EC2, that is virtual server equivalent in Amazon. So after selecting EC2, go for permission. Click permission. After clicking permission, you need to find out a policy to be attached with this role. So for example, we want to give our EC2 instance full access of Amazon S3. So this is a search box, policy type. Here just type S3. S3 related policies will be populated over here. Amazon DMS Redshift S3 role, S3 full access, S3 read only access. So we want S3 full access, so we will click this and then click next, review, create a role. So here we need to give a name to our role, and we have given it EC2 S3 full access, and some description is already there by default. trusted entities EC2, since we have selected EC2, and the policies which we have selected is shown over here, S3 full access. Now we'll go with create role. Click create role. Now instantly this screen will appear. The role EC2 S3 full access has been created. Okay, and here you can see EC2 S3 full access. So this was quite simple, I mean creating a role. But now the question is, what can you do with this role? You will learn about EC2 instance and S3 in the next sections. In fact, EC2 is will be discussed in section 3. So you can play around with this role by attaching it to an EC2 instance. So when this role is attached to an EC2 instance, the instance will have full access of S3, that is simple storage service. So example, it can upload files to your S3 buckets without requiring any explicit credentials from your end. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Now once a role is created, you can definitely delete it if you want, and on the same page inside roles, select the role that you want to delete. Here it is shown EC2 S3 full access, and then go ahead with delete role at the top, here the arrow mark. Okay, click that. Okay, here we are at the final screen. It's asking for the final confirmation. You just click yes, delete, and it will be deleted. It won't be shown over here in this the parent screen. Okay, so this is how we delete roles. So as I have already said, the EC2 may sound a bit daunting at first, but don't worry, they will start making sense gradually once you start digging deeper. Okay, so thank you and see you in the next lecture.